Hey everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back to Yarn Purpose. It's the last Friday of the month, so it's time for coffee catch up. Hey everyone, welcome back to Yarn Purpose. I'm Jen. Hope you've got your coffee because I think this coffee catch up might be a long one this week. I have lots to talk to you about today. I've been knitting a lot, traveling, got some new yarn in the house, got lots of things to talk to you about today. But first I'll just tell you briefly a little bit about what's been going on in life. Just pretty standard summer for me, just sort of working as normal. And then I did actually go on vacation with my mom and my sister over the last week. So that was super fun. We made a trip to Las Vegas. My mom had not left the central time zone of the United States in 35 years. We're pretty sure. She definitely hadn't been on a plane in that long. And so, we told my mom, it's time. It's time to go see something else other than central United States. So we went to Las Vegas. And the reason that we chose to go to Las Vegas is Barry Manilow is doing several shows there at the Westgate, in case you're interested. My mom is a huge Barry Manilow fan. I am also a huge Barry Manilow fan as a result. So we just decided it was time, and so we went to Las Vegas to see the show and hang out for a few days. The Barry Manilow show was great. If you are into Barry Manilow or going to be in Las Vegas, definitely go. And we just had a great time hanging out. So I did get some knitting done on that trip, so I will be showing you that shortly. But other than that, it's just been sort of standard, just, working, knitting, hanging out at the pool with my nieces. It's been pretty standard summer so far. But yeah, let me go ahead and show you what I have finished recently. The first thing that I have finished are these socks. So if you do subscribe to the Yarn Purpose channel here on YouTube, you may have seen that I am doing a series of videos on top-down sock knitting this summer. I've just been getting a lot of messages from people asking questions about how to knit socks or different techniques for socks. So I just decided the summer was a good time to just do a whole bunch of videos talking about sock knitting. Plus, obviously, I love to knit socks. So I finished the pair of socks. There is a pattern to go along with those videos if you want it. Every week in those videos, I do put the instructions in the description. So if somebody does not want to buy a pattern, they can get all the instructions that they're going to need to knit the socks. But I do have a PDF available on Ravelry if you do want the pattern, but it's just this, I'm calling them the Sweet and Simple socks. They're just a standard top-down sock pattern with the German short row heels. So I finished these. I'm really excited. I love these. I love how the color turned out on these. The yarn is Leading Men Fiber Arts in the Showstopper base, and the colorway is Quantum Leap. So I just love, they're like variegated and kind of speckly, but not, I don't know. I just love them. I can't wait for it to be fall, and then I can wear them all the time. So those are the socks I finished. Then the next thing I finished is I have a shawl pattern out now for people who are on my Patreon page. If you want more information about my Patreon, it's down below. But this is the Rhododendron shawl that I designed. So how it works on my Patreon page is that you have to be a patron for 2 months to get the pattern, but every 2 months I do a new pattern that's exclusive to my Patreon page for 6 months. And the patrons on there also get to sort of choose my design adventure. So I usually start by telling them, okay, I want to use whatever yarn. Here's the 5 different things I will design with it. So I'll be like shawl, cowl, hat, whatever, mitts, whatever I'm feeling kind of like possibly designing. And then they vote on it, and then from there I give them other polls to decide on sort of the details. So for the July pattern, the vote was a shawl, and it ended up being top-down crescent with lace and a knitted on border, and then somebody requested that the lace was not super complicated so that it would be good for like sort of road trip knitting or travel knitting. So this is what I came up with. The pattern is Rhododendron. If you're not a patron, the pattern will be available in January to everybody on Ravelry. So I just love this one. The yarn is also Leading Men Fiber Arts. I have been on such a Leading Men Fiber Arts kick lately. I don't know. It's just like, I've just been super in love with their yarn lately. So The yarn is Leading Men Fiber Arts. It's their callback base, which is a sport weight yarn, and the colorway is Pink Lemonade. So that's my rhododendron shawl. I used 2 skeins for that, so like 600 or so yards. So it's a pretty big shawl. I look forward, I might wear it to Stitches Midwest, which is next week. But yeah, it's super cute. I really like how this one turned out. So I'm very excited about that shawl. And then the last thing I finished, which is a pattern that will be out next week. I'll leave a link to it down below. I'll add the link in once the pattern's out. But I designed a skirt. I cannot believe that I did this. You know, I have been now working full-time as a designer for 4.5 years and was, you know, sort of running my design business part-time for years before that. But I have long been intimidated by designing things that actually have to fit people. And I mean, obviously like a hat or a sock or mitts, I mean, there is some math involved in that because you can't just like make them whatever size you want. You have to make sure that like a hat will fit, you know, somebody's head or something like that. But I've been a little intimidated by designing things that really, really have to fit. And I love math and I love making spreadsheets, so I don't know why I was so intimidated. But anyway, so this is like the first true garment that I have made and designed, and it is a skirt. The pattern is Harpswell, and it's going to be available, like I said, next week. The yarn is Done Roving Yarns Frolicking Feet in the DK weight. So the variegated gray here is the Mousy colorway, and then I use 2 balls of a Transitions yarn that they have, which is, it's sort of like a gradient, but it's 4 colorways together in one ball, and that colorway there is Casco Bay. So I started from the top down on this one and made actually, oh, I didn't weave in all my ends there. Whoops, well, real life. I made a casing for some elastic. So I put the elastic in through here and now have seamed it up there because knitting can get kind of heavy. So I felt like with the skirt, the elastic was going to be really necessary. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. This skirt will not fit me. They are going to have it modeled at the Stitches Midwest fashion show, but I am going to knit myself a skirt. And I never thought that I would want to knit a skirt or want to wear a knitted skirt, but now that I made this one, I am like, oh yeah, how great would a skirt be at Rhinebeck? Oh, I might need a skirt for Rhinebeck, I don't know. So anyway, that's the skirt. We'll see if I knit another one for myself. I really want to though. It was a lot of knitting because this skirt is flowy. You know, that does mean it was a lot of knitting. That being said, a knitted skirt for myself would be super awesome. So you might be seeing more knit skirts on Yarn Purpose coming up. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. But that's it for finished objects. So the next thing I have is all my works in progress. Okay, so works in progress. There's a lot of socks, people. I'm not showing you all the socks. If I didn't even pick them out of the bin in the last month, I'm not going to show them to you. But I do have a couple pairs that I sort of been working on here and there. Not much though, because I was finishing those other Leading Men Fiber Art socks. But I'll show these ones to you again. These are the Knitcircus Brew Crew stripe socks that I've been working on for my friend. So I haven't made a lot of progress on these. I did put them in my suitcase when I went to Las Vegas, but I ended up working on something else, which I'll show you. So I haven't made a lot of progress on these, but they still are sort of staying nearby. They're going in my knitting bag to knit night and things like that. So I'll probably get back to these soon, but that's sort of, I probably added like maybe 10 more rows since you last saw them. I don't know. And then I did start another pair of socks and I couldn't help it. It was one of those things. It just sort of happened. So I was sort of like cleaning out my yarn a little bit and sort of rediscovered this beautiful sock blank that I had bought at Rhinebeck in 2016 from Gale's Art. And she does these amazing stamped sock blanks. And this one, it's sparkly. You can kind of see. It's so pretty. And when I bought it, I thought, I'm never going to knit with this. It's too beautiful. But these things are meant to be used, not just hoarded or something, right? We're not supposed to just hoard all our yarn, I guess. But anyway, so I did start a little bit of this sock, just a little bit. Just, I don't know, it was one of those things I found it and I'm like, I'm just starting this. I don't even care that there's all these other socks and all these other things on the needles. They can wait. I just wanted to start this. So I'm knitting it obviously just directly from the blank. So that's why the yarn's kinked up, because it's obviously knit up in the blank. But you can see I'm starting to get just a little bit of that yellow mixed in with sort of that like purpley blue. Very nice. Yeah, so I think this will be fun because you don't necessarily know how it's going to turn out until you knit it up. So I'm really excited to see how these socks turn out. So I think that's another one where it's probably going to just get thrown in the bottom of my knitting bag, and then, you know, here and there when I feel like pulling it out to work on it, I'll pull it out and work on it. So it might take me a year to get that done. Who knows? But then the last thing that is on the needles is very exciting to me and hopefully exciting to you. It's the Tegna sweater. Yay. So I did finally start it. I think I shared the yarn with you before. I can't remember for sure if I shared it here on my YouTube channel. I for sure shared it on Instagram. But I bought some Anzula Cloud in the Seaside colorway for my Tegna sweater. So I actually started this the night before I was leaving to go to Las Vegas, because you did have to cast on a lot of stitches, and I knew I wasn't going to want to cast on all those stitches on the airplane or at the airport. So the night before I left for Las Vegas, I cast on all the stitches, and I think I did one round or something. But then that's pretty much, for the most part, I did all of this either while traveling to Las Vegas and back, or a little bit here and there in the hotel room at night and stuff. Actually, between these two orange stitch markers, I did that on the way home. That was like waiting at the airport, and then all on the airplane. I did all that. So I've only done a few more rounds since getting home from Las Vegas, but this lace was so fun to knit. Oh my gosh. Isn't it so pretty? Oh. I think this came from a Japanese stitch dictionary. I'm pretty sure I have the stitch dictionary it came out of, but oh, it's so pretty. And I don't a lot of times do lace that incorporates pearls in it. I don't know. It's not the ones I normally go for, but then I see something like this and I'm like, oh, I want to knit all the kinds of lace that's like this. It's like textured and lacy. It's so pretty. So now I'm pretty much to the point of just miles and miles of stockinette, but this is also one of those things where I really want this finished sweater. Like, I really want it. So even though it's going to be a ton of stockinette to knit, I think that I'll be able to sort of stay on track and work on that a little bit each week to get it done, because I really want that sweater really bad. So, and then I guess sort of I'll just go into sort of my upcoming plans as far as like things I want to be working on next. So as I was knitting this one, I wasn't even done with the lace yet. And I thought, I might need more than one of this sweater. And I guess I can't really make that decision until the sweater's done and I really try it on and know if I really like it. But I feel like I'm going to really like it. And so I was thinking, I was like, oh, I could just take different lace and put it on the bottom of that sweater pattern and just like knit a second one. But then actually my friend Jen pointed out that Caitlin Hunter, who did the Tegna pattern, has a new pattern. I wrote it down here. Let me grab it. The pattern is Maritimo, I think is how you say it. And it's sort of this feather and fan pattern, which well, you saw the skirt. I've been very into the feather and fan lately. So I have bought that pattern, and I was looking at it earlier, and it seems like it's very similar to the Tegna pattern, maybe not exactly. So I don't know if I'll end up knitting that sweater next, or sort of just taking feather and fan and putting it on the bottom of like the Tegna pattern. They were similar, but not exactly the same. I haven't decided, but I have a feeling I'm going to need another lightweight sweater with like some just lace on the bottom. So that's one thing I plan on doing. And then the Swoncho is still, I don't want to say it's sitting in timeout, but I just haven't gotten back to it yet. Rhinebeck is still a few months away. I got time. So, and I don't know if I've said this before. I'm not really sure if with the Swoncho, if that's the right sweater for my body type. because it is like a poncho with sleeves. It's just one of those things I just really want. I just want to knit it, and if it looks terrible, it's okay. So we'll see. So it's pretty much just, I have a couple more sweaters in mind is the point of all of this. I want to get back to my Swoncho, but right now I'm just loving that Tegna. So I guess the next thing to talk about are acquisitions or things that have sort of come into the house yarn-wise. I haven't had much yarn come into the house, but I did want to share the yarn that I got from my Fiber Share partner. So if you don't know about Fiber Share, it is a yarn swap that it's kind of run on Instagram. There's a form and stuff you have to fill out to sign up for Fiber Share. I'll leave a link to it down below. But the people who run Fiber Share, they do a few of them a year. I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 rounds of it a year. I'm not 100% sure on that. And they do a really great job of pairing everybody up. So what happens is I sent a Fiber Share package to somebody, and then somebody else sent me one. So you're not switching, you're not swapping with the same person. You're sending to one person, and then a different person is sending to you. So that was super fun. I had not done a yarn swap like that in a long time. I used to do them a long time ago when Ravelry was still like extremely new. But I probably hadn't done one in almost 10 years, I think. So I was really excited to sign up for this one. So yeah, so the person who sent me yarn is Amanda, and she is Lone Star Arts on Instagram. And so she has her own company dyeing yarn and making some other things. So she sent me some of her yarn along with someone else's yarn. So I just thought I'd give you a closer look. These are lovely. I can't wait to use all of these. So the first one that's from Lone Star Arts is the Monarch Silver yarn, which is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% silver stellina. So you can kind of see that sparkliness in there. Very nice. And it's 438 yards for 100 grams, and this colorway is Blossom. So I think I want to make socks with this, but I don't. I might want to make a cowl or something. It's so pretty. I just love it. Very, very nice. And then the next one of the Lone Star Arts that I got is the Tumbleweed yarn, which is 70% superwash merino, 20% yak, 10% nylon. It is 437 yards for 100 grams, and the colorway is Hyacinth. So it's kind of this dusty purple, I think probably because of the yak, but it's so pretty. Oh, I could see making like some patterned socks, like maybe I can find a sock pattern that sort of has that Tegna lace on it. I think that would look good. Obviously, I'm like obsessed with that. But this yarn is so lovely too. So that was also Lone Star Arts. I'll be sure to leave a link to her website down below. And then the last thing is that Amanda sent me was some mustache yarns here. And this is the Perfect Self-Striping yarn. So this is the OCD, which is the 2 perfectly matched half skeins together. So that's really cool. The colorway on this one is Martian Rainbow, and the fiber content is 75% superwash merino, 25 nylon, fingering weight 440 yards per 100 grams. So it's like this very bright rainbow. It's got like that really bright green in there. I think I've been into anything rainbow or like unicorn lately. I don't know. So I'm really excited about this one too. I'm really had to resist not just starting yet another pair of socks with this already. So that's pretty much it. Other than that, you know, it's just the normal work stuff here and there. But yeah, I kind of have a few weeks now where there's always work to be done, but it's kind of slowed down a little bit. So hopefully I'll be able to sort of finish some of these more personal projects that I've been working on. And then the last thing I wanted to talk to you about is Stitches Midwest is coming up next week. So it's like August 1st to the 4th. It's the first weekend of August. So if you're going to be there and you want to meet up, just be sure to leave me a comment down below, or my Instagram's down below. You can send me a message through Instagram. You know, if you want to meet up or hang out, whatever, just let me know. I'll be there on and off throughout the weekend, hanging out with my friends and probably doing a little bit of shopping. So that's it for me for today. If you like this video, go ahead and give it that thumbs up. And if you want, you can subscribe. Hit that subscribe button down below, and you can turn on the notifications if you like to be notified whenever I upload a new video. And so that's it for me for this week. I hope everybody has a great week, and I will talk to you again soon.